Good Nerve Shabbos, Parshas Shoftim. I'm recording this from Baltimore. The Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Zayin, page 7, tells us that when the Jewish nation appoints improper judges, it's as if we've planted an Asherah tree. What's an Asherah tree? So an Asherah tree is a tree that's used to worship idols, but it's not an idol itself. Anything that's used in the service of worshiping idols is forbidden to use to benefit from as well. So the Gemara lets us know. When Klal Yisrael appoints a judge, a leader, that is not fit. It's as if we've planted an Asherah tree. What's the connection? So the Gemara explains to us that because these two halachas are placed next to each other in this week's parsha, the prohibition of planting an Asherah tree and the prohibition of appointing an improper judge, they're next to each other in the halachas of this week's parsha, so you see they're similar. What's the pshat? My father Zechar Bracha would quote Chaim Brisker, who explained the connection between an Asherah tree and appointing an improper judge. When you look at an Asherah tree, it's a regular tree. It looks the same as any other tree. It's just forbidden to use because of what it stands for. But it's not an idol itself. So too with an improper judge, an improper Torah leader. Everybody can look the same. It can all be the same. You can't tell on the outside who somebody is in their truth, in their reality. Therefore, you may look at a judge and say, listen, that person's dressing the part, acting the part, at least they look like they're acting the part, but it's really improper, it's really avodah zarah. So that's the connection between the two. So there was a fellow who came to the city of Brisk, and this fellow was a known Jewish professional lecturer who would come and give drushas in different cities and was known to speak words of Torah. And Reb Chaim got wind that this Yid was coming up with ideas that did not fall in line with proper tradition. He was also hanging out with the wrong crowd. And bottom line is, did not practice what he preached. So Reb Chaim in Brisk sent out the word to the entire town of Brisk that nobody is allowed to allow this fellow to lecture in their town. In the town of Brisk, this guy can't come. He's not permitted to lecture. So this lecturer heard about it, and he came to Reb Chaim, and he says, please listen to what I have to say. You can hear my Torah, let me know whether it's true. If it's not true, I won't say it. Just let me speak. Why not? Open the floor. Open the floor to other perspectives. So Reb Chaim tells him, you're undoubtedly aware of the halacha that when a cow or a kosher animal is slaughtered according to halacha and salted and processed completely according to halacha, it's totally kosher. But if I take that meat and cook it in a treif, in a non-kosher pot, all of a sudden the whole thing is no longer kosher. He tells this Yid the same thing is true with you. Even if you have kosher words to say, you cooked it in a treif, a pot. Your brain's in the wrong place. Your mind does not follow halacha. And even if the words that come out of your mouth are words of technical truth, it's only going to have a negative impact on others. When I heard this, I was thinking about today's Rosh Chodesh El. It's the second day of El, Parshas Shoftim. And this is really what we're working on for the next 40 days, which are called the Yemei Ratzon, the days of desire, when we feel very close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rosh Chodesh El through Yom Kippur. We're preparing ourselves, and these are 40 days of real closeness and a real desire to connect between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's the goal? The goal is to take all of the lessons and messages that we learn and to turn ourselves into a kosher vessel. That the Torah, the good deeds, everything that does exist in our lives should also cook inside of a kosher vessel, should cook inside of us. That is a goal that Amir Hashem, with the help of Hashem, will all be successful with. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.